Hello, my friends. I want to bring you another layout for Ginger's Corner Around the World Children's Book Edition. This hop can be found on Ginger's Corner Facebook page, and the link is down below to the page. And if you go to the Facebook page, you will find an album with each of the books, and if you do a layout, you can share them underneath the image of each book. And Ginger did a video that describes how to participate and how to win a prize or how to win the grand prize. So be sure to look for her introductory video to the Around the World Children's Book Edition. Also, down below, you will see the link to the playlist and everyone who is participating and doing a YouTube video on the playlist. And they will be adding to this playlist for the month of September. And I want to thank Ginger for allowing me to participate and helping me get the videos linked to the playlist. And so today we're going to look at the book called Ani Dreams of Bharani. And Ani is a foodie, like my husband Jay and I. And when we talk about this layout, it has to be a food layout, have food embellishments, and ink smushing to represent food splatters. So when we look at this layout, I did a double layout. And so here is the first page, and here is the second, or the companion page. And this is from a sketch that I cannot show you. It's Scrapbook Generations. I took the inspiration from a 16-photo sketch in their Birthday Wishes album. And so my husband and I are foodies, and this book, Ani Dreams of Bharani, let me tell you a little bit about the book, and then we'll talk about my layout. The cafe across the street from Ani's home in Little India makes the best Bharani in the world. Fluffy and fragrant, spicy and succulent. Ani could eat it every day. In fact, Ani loves the Bharani so much that she's determined to uncover the secret to the recipe. She has so many questions for Uncle, the grumpy chef and owner of the cafe, but he isn't providing any easy clues. So with some careful planning, Ani sets out on a mission to find out the secret ingredients to this most special dish. Will Ani get the answer she's looking for before it's too late? To earn your bookmark for this book, you must create a food layout that has food embellishments and uses ink smushing to represent the food splatters. So here's the book, and I'll go over to Ginger's website, Ginger's Corner, and I will look for the Around the World series, and I will look for this book, and then I will put my layout below, and I will describe how my layout meets the requirements for the bookmark. And as I said, my husband and I are foodies. And so this is a double page, or it's actually two companion pages, or you could think of it a double page, either way, about going to a restaurant when we were up in Canada in July. And the restaurant, here's, I downloaded from the internet some of the information about the restaurant. And here it's, you can see its name, Bar Avin Liege. And please forgive my pronunciations. And I also have the three owners and chefs. And it also described a little bit about the restaurant. It's in Repentigny, which is in Quebec province. Kind of, let's see, I think it would be more north of Montreal. Is kind of where I remember the area that we were in. And it says this restaurant was open since October 2019 by Valerie Gagny, Charles Olivier Darvaux, and Benjamin Lenga. Probably really said the names very terribly, but I am trying. 3 owners passionate about gastronomy. The Liege Wine Bar offers a seasonal menu made with local ingredients from Landes and Quebec. You'll find organic, biodynamic, and natural wines exclusively imported privately. Located in the heart of Repentigny, near the new Alphonse Desjardins Theatre and the Diane Dufresne Art Center, the kitchen opens directly into the dining room to offer an immersive gastronomic experience. The large welcoming terrace and dining room are also available. And so what this has is basically they bring you out, you can see here, a small plate, which is basically a tasting that is meant to be shared. And so how we found this particular restaurant is we stayed a week at a distillery, and the owner of the distillery, that was our Airbnb host, Stefan, he suggested a bar Avin Liege in Repentigny for a fellow foodie. He said the food is very good. It's a really wonderful tasting experience. He said it will be pricey because they are creating that food just for you. And he said they don't have a regular menu because they have everything fresh, and so they don't know what they are going to have for the week or the day. Everything's fresh, and so you'll see on the next half of the second page of this restaurant that they actually write, you can see it here a little bit in the background, they write on a big chalkboard what the food that's available for the day is. And so my husband and I went there one evening and we spent about 3 hours, and it was by far the most wonderful, extravagant, tasteful meal that we have ever had. And so it is #1 in our memories right now. And usually when we travel up to Canada, we take 1 or 2 days and go to a really, really nice restaurant for a nice food experience, because we are foodies by heart. We love to cook together. We love to taste new things. So the requirements for the bookmark is it has to be about food, and you can see from the photos, this is definitely about food. It has to have food embellishments, and you'll see, oh, well, here's a bottle of wine. This says good eats. This says yum. This is fork, spoon, and plate. This says food. This says today's menu. This is a wood veneer that I colored, and it's from Not Just for Boys Kids Club. This says 5-star rating. This is a little, well, whatever it is, I can't think of it. Just words fly the coop on me. So it's got a little heart, and it marks the location. As I said, this came from the internet, and I printed it out, as well as the picture of the 3 owners. Here's a tomato that I got from a swap, and it from Ginger's Corners, and it did not have the person who made it name on the back, but it's a very nice tomato. This says, "This is the life," and then you can check mark what you think applies for this particular layout. Spending it with family, trying something new, enjoying downtime, adventures with friends. Well, I could have marked spending time with family, because Jay is my family. We don't have any children. But I put trying something new, because we certainly tried new things, and enjoying our downtime. We certainly enjoyed our 3 weeks up in Canada in July. And over here, you will see I did do the ink smushing. I used 3 different colors of ink. I know that I used amber, and I used I think it was a barn red, I think, because I was trying to get closer to the color of the sauce here, but I didn't quite manage it. And then I did some sprinkles with a shimmer. And so I met the requirements. I have over here a food embellishment. I have more food itself on the next page. I did ink smushing, and it is a food layout. But I really want to talk to you about the food we ate because it was so exciting. And I wrote down here so my husband and I can remember the French name of the dish and then the English interpretation and what we sometimes what we thought of the dish and the price. And so these were tastings. They were small portions. My husband and I love scallops. So this first one here is a scallop dish. And we were very adventurous here when we tried this because this particular dish, the scallops are raw, which is not something my husband and I really go for. But we thought, well, they were thinly sliced and they are in a dish with rhubarb and Calabrian chili pepper sauce, and we thought we would give it a try. Well, the texture of the raw scallop, my husband had one bite and that was all he could do. I actually ate the dish because the sauce was wonderful. I didn't really enjoy the texture of the raw scallop, but I tried a new thing, and that's what we do when we go to a new location in a new restaurant. We try new things. And so, would I get that dish again? No. Would I recommend it? Yes, if you like raw seafood. Okay, because we don't even eat raw sushi usually. And so the next dish is, and I'm not going to pronunciate the French because I will do a terrible job. As you can see, each of these dishes was a work of art in itself. I mean, they had sauces and they had special herbs, and the presentation on the plate was beautiful. This meal was absolutely wonderful. So what they did is they brought them out in groups of 2, and they told my husband and I that 4 to 6 plates would be good for a couple of 2 people. And we did not do any wine pairing. I was driving, and 2, we tend not to drink a lot of wine, and especially if we have to drive. So they brought out these 2 dishes together. The second dish was, let's see, a large lake snail, or some people might call it a whelk. And Moira helped me with the translation here of the sauce because it calls it a sauce grivice, and that's probably said very terribly. And it's kind of a mixture between a hollandaise sauce and a tartare. And what they do is they take hard-boiled eggs, and they take the yolk and they emulsify the yolk, and then they add in mustard and capers and fresh herbs. And it's got a very, very, very good flavor, and we loved this dish. That was one of our top 3 favorites. I think that was number 2 or 3 on our list. And then they brought out, and so then when we were done with that, they asked us, are we ready for the next? Because like I said, we were there 3 hours. So then they brought out these 2. And this dish here, dish number 3, is a pasta. It's a cavatelli, and it has green peas and an herb sauce. And the pasta was made there at the restaurant, and it was very, very good. That was like number 2 on my list, and I think number 3 on Jay's. Or actually, these were both 2 and 3. I think we couldn't decide which we liked more. And so that was very, very good. And then this one down here is a wild mushroom dish with ricotta cheese and black garlic sauce. Okay, this was both of our #1 favorite. And if I wasn't in a restaurant, I might have picked up that dish and licked it. That black garlic sauce was so very, very good. That's why I put yum here, because that by far was our most favorite dish that night. And yeah, this video is going to be a little long because I'm explaining all this wonderful food I ate. And I thank Moira for helping me with the interpretation from French to English. And this is the companion page, or the second half of this layout. And here you see I have more ink smushing, and I have mouth watering, and I have, you know, some die cuts. Here are an onion and a carrot that came from a swap at Ginger's Corners. And for a swap that I did, I made the different knives and pots and pans and kitchen items. So here, this knife, these pots and pans. The spoon was from a die cut pack. I call it a pasta server, and this grater, I made all of those for a swap on Ginger's Corners to give to the people I was swapping with. Here you see Luke. He was our server that night. And here you see a picture of the menu board and how it's written in chalk for the evening to tell us what we can choose from. And our server here, he was so patient and so kind. He explained every single dish on this menu board in English. And sometimes I had to help him. I know many of the words for food, and actually I do know a lot of French, but they speak very quickly, and I learned Parisian French, and they speak Quebec French. But the food words are all the same, and so many of them I do know. But when it gets down to the little herbs and the seasonings, some of them elude me. But between the two of us, we really knew exactly what was in each dish, because he went down to the detail of how the sauce was made and what was in the sauce. And he was a very, very good server, and so we enjoyed our time there. You can see we went on July 25th. This also came from printing from the website. It says, the menu is constantly changing with the seasons and product available. Small dishes to share. All our ingredients are sourced from local organic farmers. I have here delicious, let's eat. Ah, good food. This was another dish that we really, really enjoyed. Actually, we liked them all, except the raw scallops. And here I have a 5-star rating. Here I journaled the 2 different desserts. On the other page is the 6 dishes. So the last set of food dishes that we had, this was a curly endive lettuce with a buttermilk and herb dressing. So you can see the buttermilk and herb dressing. Here's the curly endive, and they put edible flowers on it. Isn't that beautiful? I almost didn't want to eat it. It was so beautiful. This is Arctic char, so it's fish, and then in the sauce we have, they call it fruit de mer, which is seafood sauce. And so in this particular sauce was shrimp, mussels, and lobster. And yes, that was one of our very favorite dishes that we had that evening. And then I think we were really full, but we really wanted to try the dessert. So we did take some of the dishes home, a little bit of it, so we could have it later, because we wanted to try the desserts. And they just had 2 desserts on the menu. And this one here is, let me see, this is the one that I had. This was my choice. It's a white chocolate mousse with lavender, with black raspberries, and strawberries. And so that was my choice, and it was excellent. And my husband wanted a panna cotta with peaches and almonds, and he really, really enjoyed that, and that also was very tasty. So that was the food we ate. I would highly recommend going there. And the service was wonderful. The atmosphere is wonderful. It's definitely a place for foodies to go. I recommend you go there. Let's see, from where I live in New York State, it's probably a 6 to 8 hour drive when we do stops. But as I said, we were up in Canada for 3 weeks, traveling around in Quebec province. And so we stayed in different places. And this by far was our most favorite meal that we have ever had anywhere, by far. And so I'm glad I had a chance to tell you all about this. I hope you enjoyed hearing about this wonderful food and this wonderful place that we went to this July when we were traveling. And I hope that you take the time to watch the other videos in this series. Once again, this was for the book Ani Dreams of Bharani. And it was for Around the World Children's Book Edition with Ginger's Corners. And so I hope that you go to the playlist and watch some of the other people that have participated. And my friends, I hope that you are able to get into your craft space and have some crafty time. And we will talk again soon. Bye.